To restrain the professor. He was the one that lost his temper at work. There was a black-owned, independent media company there to pick up our...
Hey, I'm a Cancer, was born in July. The only place I wanna go that I ain't been is Dubai. Yeah, I'm 54 and 0, I'm better than Floyd. Knocked out 14 kids, majority boys. My hip game is dangerous, my dick is addictive. She begging for the doggy, I just fuck up her lipstick. I be pushing bitches off me, they just want my attention. And if I diss him in the song, he probably come up missing. Hey, I been my own boss, never punch no clock.
We had to hold this educator back. We had to restrain the professor. He was the one that lost his temper at work. There was a black-owned, independent media company there to pick up our good brother when he was misunderstood by other outlets.
Because I think that who I am is like an eternal battle with me.
You say that second that I take that as disrespectful. I'm not potting. I'm not potting. Nigga, don't stand up. What you doing? Are we talking about?
He does.
Yeah. Well, that's where problem number one arises for me.
Saying that they're using this as a kind of launching pad to talk about it. They put a podcast out responding to what happened between Flip and me, and they offer different perspectives on it. I thought they were generally respectful, and I agree with a lot of what was said. Some of it I had a slightly different take on. But they were basically using this as a kind of launching pad to talk about a bigger issue, which they saw was a dumbing down of America. I think the episode was called the Joe Budden podcast and the dumbing down of America.
Shit.
And they were saying that the exchange between me and Flip is evidence of that. Now, as I said earlier in the show, I don't agree with that part of it.
It's just not in his head, so I think he does.
Yeah.
Well, that's where problem number one arises for me, and then I'll toss it back to Mark. You title it that, and then admittedly say, I don't look at that. He said, one, I'm not familiar with this podcast. I don't watch the clips from this podcast. I assume this is not their frequency every week.
He did.
Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Andrew. That's why you need niggas with brains around. Thank you. That indeed is not our frequency every week. He went on to say, I also trust Mark and his ability to gauge where he should and shouldn't be, who he should connect with and who he shouldn't, to kind of filter out where he's safe at. So I took offense to the sentiment. I took offense to a few sentiments, but one is that I don't love Mark down. I take offense to that.
A lot of times in these political spaces, a lot of times in the spaces that are quote unquote intellectual, we often look at demographics and we look and pick and choose when we want to play victim and we want to play aggressor. So when the rich white people are doing certain things to us, we cry wolf. I mean, we don't cry wolf, we cry foul. And then we'll take the same exact thing and now shun other people that are less than we are or that we deem less than we are. So when we're in a political space and we see all these rich white people making all these moves and doing all these shit and saying, fuck the masses, I don't care what they think. And then the young lady got on the platform and basically called Flip dumb and said, I don't give a fuck what he thinks. I don't want to hear from him because he's not, in my opinion, credible, or his opinion is not valid. It's the same thing that the white people that oppress us say their opinion is not valid. I don't want to give a fuck about the thoughts of sheep when I'm a lion. So I think that that's a hypocrisy in that. You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Also, that's what happened with Flip and Mark is contextual. And if you don't watch the pod, which none of them admittedly do, you don't even understand the argument that was taking place. Flip is my friend, though. You understand what I'm saying? And so they were shooting at Flip a lot. It was unfair. And then we get into these spaces where, no, Flip may not have 3 degrees. I've been to Flip house. Flip got an elevator in his house. I've been around Flip. Flip generates more income than a lot of these so-called academics do. You understand what I'm saying? So when you
Flip
go on,
kid is well spoken.
so Flip's children are mannerly, they're polite as fuck, and they good kids that you would think grew up in fucking Livingston, New Jersey, somewhere, Short Hills.
So I don't have time for y'all looking at how about we encourage more conversations with each other just about how, and I'm not necessarily saying us and y'all, I'm just saying with each other about how we can be of assistance to each other. Why don't we not always try to drive a wedge in between some shit that already has enough wedges.
Exactly.
If you so fucking intellectual, one, how about understand context and nuance? You could have made that point again without saying his pod. Two, I never heard Mark say, I'm a fucking super intellectual. I never heard him say that. I never heard Michael fucking Dyson, you know my man.
Eric Dyson.
Eric Dyson.
Eric Dyson.
Michael Eric Dyson. You know the fuck I'm talking about, the nigga.
Yeah, you know
the fuck I'm talking about. I never heard him say, I'm an intellectual. I never heard that. I never heard Neil deGrasse come say, I'm an intellectual. The intellectuals teach. They're not running around getting an erection or getting a wet clit from self-identifying. And there's a lot of that going on that I'm only seeing since Mark got here. You motherfuckers can go back to the griot. Y'all can go back to the spiritual healer or wherever the fuck you get your news from. Again, y'all don't have that license because your fucking friend is up here. And he could have been there. Anyway.
Answer to how you calling.
Was born in July. The only place I wanna go that I ain't been is Dubai. Yeah, I'm 54 and 0. I'm better than Floyd. Knocked out 14 kids, majority boys. My hip game is dangerous. My dick is addictive. She begging for